Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, depending on when you're watching this video. My name is Arachie Augustine Ebuka, and I'm welcoming you officially to our first training session. And our topic today is topic formulation. Topic formulation is a topic that is something that has been generating a whole lot of controversy, because not all topics presented are usually accepted, and some people would ordinarily tell you that this topic you chose is not researchable. So today we are going to be demystifying and making and breaking down the processes involved in selecting a topic, because as you would already know, not all topics are researchable actually. So we're going to be looking at what makes a topic researchable. So let's get in. Not all topics are researchable, like I said earlier. Most people, they just wake up and decide to take a topic and research on it. For those who are still carrying out probably their undergraduate or postgraduate project, they may just go to their supervisor and give the supervisor just any topic so that they will just go. But it is not done like that. While also some supervisors have the habit of choosing topics for their students. They just pick a topic and give their students to research on, which is not supposed to be so, because a topic that a student does not have the capacity or the capability to research, and at the end of the day, is going to be problematic for both the student and the lecturer. So first thing you do while carrying out a project or while writing an article is to do your own research, which is called DYOR. D stands for do, Y stands for your, O stands for own, then R stands for research. So before you select a topic, you must do your own research. So it's that aspect of doing your own research that will bring us to the three key points which we are going to be looking at. One is we're going to be looking at what. We're also going to be looking at when, and we're going to be looking at how. So what will constitute your research? What will you choose to write on? That's where you have something like clarity. Remember, we're going to be discussing this what, when, and how. They are all part of the characteristics of a good topic. So we are subdividing them into three, starting with what. And what, the first point we'll have here is clarity. So any research topic you're choosing is supposed to be clear. It's supposed to be unambiguous. It's supposed to be straight to the point. A research topic is not where you come and demonstrate how good you are with vocabularies, confusing people. No, it should be simple, straight to the point. And APA, I think APA, their standard is that any topic should not have more than 15 words. So when you have a topic that is so lengthy, it throws people off. It makes them not to be interested in the topic, because the topic alone is confusing. Let's take, for example, somebody who is writing a topic and say the demystification of the impact of COVID-19 vaccine on the longevity of female residents of Oka Metropolis and their marriage, let's say let me take it again, sorry. If somebody is writing a research project on COVID-19 and the person starts stating in the topic the demystification of COVID-19 and its impact on the longevity of marriages and financial strength of their spouses. A topic like this is confusing. A topic like this is not simple. It is ambiguous. So it is not clear. It should be simple, clear, and straight to the point. There is an argument that is going on whether we should be adding the effect, the influence, the relationship in the topic. Like, for example, if you're saying the influence of motivation on employees' performance, some people will say the influence there doesn't make any sense, that it should not be there. It should be motivation and employee performance. Then when you come to the body of the work, you now talk about the influence. And if you ask me, I'll also say that it is not necessary. Or saying the relationship between, say, the relationship between workload and employee commitment. That relationship there doesn't make any sense, because provided that you have both dependent and independent variable, it presupposes that you're looking at the relationship. So the relationship is not doing anything in the topic. Remove it. It makes the topic sharper, simpler, and straight to the point. So that is one. Then secondly, we'll talk about specific. How specific is your topic? Here I talked about focus on a particular area. Do not choose a topic that is too broad. Your topic should be very focused on a particular area. It should not be something that is very broad. Remember, no single research will cover every area. So choose a particular area and carry out your research on that area you're studying. For example, saying COVID-19 and its effects on female population. Fine. Female population of which area? Yes, female population of which area? It is too broad. Instead, you could say COVID-19 and its effect on female population of southern Nigeria, female population of Anambra State, female population of southeast Nigeria or south Nigeria. That makes it very specific and not leaving it very open. So these are the things that constitute the what. Before you choose any topic, make sure you answer these questions. Is your topic very clear? Is it specific? Sorry, I missed interest, which is very, very important. It is very key. In interest here, we'll talk about how enthusiastic you are about the topic and what is your competence in carrying out that work. Somebody in management, for example, who wants to carry out a research on solar systems or carry out a research on traditional medication used in curing COVID-19. This may not be of interest to you because you lack the competence to carry out such a research. Yes, you lack the competence and you may not have the interest to do it because you wouldn't know how, what, and when to do what you're supposed to do. So it must be something that you are interested in, something that you have the competence to carry out. That is the last component of the word. So we are now moving to the other aspect, which is when. When is the topic supposed to be written on? Timing. How current, how recent is your work? For example, in business administration in Nnamdi Azikiwe University, if you are a postgraduate student and you're writing something on leadership, you will be turned back immediately because they will tell you that the topic has been overflogged. Or you bring a topic of motivation, they will tell you what aspect of motivation have they not written on, that it has been overflogged. Go and look for something recent, go and look for something current. So if you're carrying out a research or you want to choose a topic and the topic you're looking at is something that has been written over and over and over and over again, what else do you want to say about a topic which has not been written on? Yes, there may be some aspect and time differ. However, people get bored about it in a certain area. about topics in a certain area. So choose something that is very recent, very current. if if for example you're talking about the abolishment of osu osu tradition in Anambra State, so many persons wouldn't be very interested in reading it because it is considered already abolished, so it's not of interest in the present day. Yeah. So the next, which we are going to be looking at, is the need. What is the need of your topic? Remember, all these are within the context of when. So, is the topic you're choosing needful? Is it something that will catch people's interest at that very point in time? Is it needed? Yes, we just came out of COVID-19. So if you're writing anything about COVID-19, people will say, yeah, 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 it is needed because it's something that is trending now. But if for example you go to the United States of America or Canada and you start telling them about malaria and how to cure malaria or how to prevent malaria, they will laugh at you because they don't talk about malaria again. They don't suffer from malaria, so it is not needed in that area. So whichever topic you're choosing, it must be something that is needed at that particular point in time. Then the last which we are going to talk here is benefit. How significant is your topic going to be? Is it going to be beneficial? If you come to the Nigerian context and you talk about how to curb incessant corruption in the polity, people will say, well, it is significant since Nigeria is known for corruption. So if you write something on how to curb corruption, people in Nigeria will say, okay, this is a good one. You may even get a grant for writing it. But if you go to a place where corruption is at its barest minimum and you start talking about how to prevent corruption, how will you prevent something that is not in existence? So what you are writing must be significant. For example, there is an issue of increment in school fees, and people are complaining that the university system is starved of fund, that the TSA, Treasury Single Account, is incapacitating departments and faculty. And you come into the system and you say you have a solution, you have a topic that you want to talk about that deals with how to solve the problem of paucity of funds in departments and faculties. People will say, okay, well, this is a good one. It is significant because they are going to benefit from it. It's something that is going to be of benefit to the university system and to the department and faculties. So it's something that is needed, something that will be of importance. So whichever topic you're choosing, you should have this in mind. Is it something that is going to add to the system, or is something that is not needed? So the final aspect we are going to be looking at is how. And how contains quite a lot of components. Yes, it contains quite a lot of components. In the how, you talk about how realistic, you talk about how feasible, you talk about data availability, literature availability, and data analysis. Now, the how is how realistic is the topic you're choosing. Is it realistic? Is it something that is doable? And here I broke it down into finance, time, logistics, and costs. Let's take finance. Okay, finance and cost should be matched together. So let's take finance, for example. Do you have the wherewithal to carry out the research you're proposing to carry using a topic that you want to choose? If, for example, you want to talk about how to build drones in order to help Nigeria solve its terrorism and insecurity issues. Fine, you want to talk about it and you want to help them build such devices. Do you have the finance to do it? Some topics also, like if you're choosing a topic and you want to conduct interview, in say 5 countries in West Africa. This could require hiring research assistants. It could require traveling and other logistics. So, do you have the capacity to do it? So, any topic that you're researching on, you should first of all look at how realistic, how feasible in relation to the financial needs of that topic. Can you do it? If it is something you cannot do, then it is important to drop the topic before going into it so that you don't waste your time. Then, time. Do you have the time? If for example you got a scholarship, for example, to do an MSc program which ordinarily lasts between 1 year and 6 months to 2 years, and you are given a timeline to conclude the study, and you're in a hurry, and you're choosing a topic that is going to take you to different places. You're choosing a topic that will be time consuming, a topic that for example, you want to interview politicians to see how their mindset about provision of infrastructures, and it requires that you see these politicians, you go, you interview them, you share questionnaire, they'll respond, you go back and collect, and you know how difficult it is to get to these politicians, and you have just let's say you have just 6 months to conclude this research. You ask yourself, this topic, is this something that I have time to do? If you don't have time to do to write on the topic, then you probably should drop the topic and go for something that is simpler, something that probably requires an available secondary data, that you can get the data just by browsing and googling through the right source and website. You get whatever you want, and within 1 month you're done with your work. So time is of essence. Then logistics. I've talked about logistics before in finance. When you would have to travel, for example, if you're carrying a research that will require that you travel to the northeast, for example, to interview people that have been displaced, that are in IDP camps, internally displaced persons camp, and know how they are faring, how they are treating them, you would have to travel. So this requires logistics. You would have to go with your system, go with this and go with that. So do you have time to do it? Can you afford the logistics that it requires to do it? Do you have the money to do it? So all these things are what you should consider. Then feasible. How feasible? Some people, they will just choose a topic that is laughable, a topic that on the face value you know that this topic is not something that can be achieved. Let's say, for example, you're carrying out a research on insecurity in Nigeria, and you want to see the mindset of leaders of ISIS, that is Islamic in West Africa, the leaders of Boko Haram, to know what made them to start the struggle and what could make them to shed their sword and come to the negotiation table. The Nigerian government, all the while, they've been telling us they don't know where these people are, except of course Sheikh Gumi, who knows where they are and usually goes to negotiate with them and come back to tell us what they demanded. If a topic you're choosing is something like this, okay, how feasible is it? No, how feasible is it? Can you go and interview them? So it is not feasible. So while choosing a topic, you should have it in mind that you should choose a topic that is doable, a topic that is believable. Or let us say you want to carry out a research, and your research will take you to America to interview Joe Biden or to interview Donald Trump, and you are in Nigeria and you have never traveled. It is doable, it is visible, but it is very difficult. Carry out a research that after doing it, people would believe what you did, so that they won't start saying you cooked up figures or you did not go anywhere. You did it. They call it armchair research. You do it in the comfort of your home. So anything you're doing, it should be something that is feasible, doable. Now also you should consider data, how available the data you're going to use for the research are. Most persons, they choose a topic and they don't mind how they are going to get the data. They just choose a topic for the case of choosing a topic, because the topic sounds very, very beautiful in the ear. So you just choose the topic, and at the end of the day, you will be asked, how will you even collect the data for this work? And the person will be looking up and down. Ordinarily, if you bring a topic to me, the first thing I'll ask you is, okay, this topic now, how do you intend to collect data? These people you want to study, you want to see their financial performance. Okay, let's say you want to determine the financial performance of SMEs in Anambra State. Financial performance. We all know that these SMEs, most of them, they don't keep financial records. Even if they do, it's going to be haphazard, it's not going to be truthful, so you're not going to get something significant from them. And you want to study their financial performance. How many of them will be willing to open their books to you, so that you open their books to you for you to carry out your study? So instead of saying you want to determine their financial performance, why don't you just say you want to determine their employee performance, which is something you can distribute questionnaire and get your answer. Okay, let's say you want to study manufacturing firms, or you want to study commercial banks in Nigeria, and you want to study their financial performance. Say you want to study their market capitalization, their profitability, their asset base. The data you need for it is readily available. Yeah, it's readily available, so you can get the data easily. So while choosing a topic, you should also consider the availability of data for that work you're going to do. It is very important, so that you won't get stranded at the end of the day. Maybe when you get to chapter 3, they will now be asking you, okay, go and collect data. You now be looking up and down, how do I go about it? And at the end of the day, I've seen so many persons cancel their work, choose another topic, just for the main fact that they could not get data. So instead of running into this problem, you better avoid it at the onset and choose a topic that has readily available data. Then literature. Yes, literature is very, very important, because without literature, it's going to be very difficult for you to do a good chapter 2, a good review of related literature. There's what is called literature awareness. We are going to come to that when we get to chapter 2, how to do literature review. Before you choose a topic, you should do a background check to know whether you can get the literature that is required to carry out the work. For example, you're carrying out a work on, let's say you're carrying out a work on employee engagement, or employee motivation, or employee commitment. The literature is very many online. If you Google with the right tool and the right website, you get so many literature about it online. But there are topics that if you Google, you cannot even get enough literature to do a good chapter 2. So you should always be mindful of the availability of literature, because without a good literature, you can't have a good literature awareness, and which will impede your decomposition of your objective. That's breaking down your broad objective to specific objective. Without a good literature, you cannot do all these things. You can't even discuss your findings, because so many persons may not have carried out such a work. So how do you now compare? Except, of course, there are topics that may be novel. There are topics that are new, but those topics create a whole lot of challenge for the people who are carrying it out, because you'll be facing issues of not getting enough material for your work. Therefore, your work will be scanty. Some people will be complaining that this work is too small, that this one happened or that one happened. So to avoid all these things, go for a topic that has available material. Yes, that will be better for you. Then the last but not the least that we are going to talk about is analysis of data. Analysis of data. Choosing a topic, from mere looking at a topic, you're supposed to know the type of data you're going to collect and the kind of analysis you're going to do. Let's say you're talking about job crafting and employee performance. Job crafting is the independent variable, while employee performance is the dependent variable. Therefore, what you're going to do is either you do a correlation analysis or a regression analysis. It will also guide you on how to structure your questionnaire. We're also going to come to that as we move ahead. So, and for example, you're talking about comparing the performance. You want to compare the performance of students and after attending uh, before and after attending extra classes. So you want to compare their performance when they have not attended extra classes and when they attended extra classes. It then means you're going to do either an ANOVA test or a t-test. So all these should guide your topic selection. You select nobody wants something that is very difficult. Yes, nobody wants something that is very difficult. So instead of choosing a topic that will be very difficult for you to do, why don't you choose a topic that will be simpler for you to do, will be faster for you to do, wouldn't require enough wouldn't require uh, finance, or wouldn't require too much money for you to complete. So all these things are what you're going to consider before choosing your research topic. So in conclusion, I would say your topic should be such that makes people curious. Your topic should be able to elicit enthusiasm from people who are looking at it, and they will be willing to follow through. If your topic is not eliciting curiosity, you're talking about leadership that has already been overflowed. You're talking about motivation that millions of people have written on. What's the enthusiasm there? What new are you going to present? People won't even be ready to read your work if you're doing something like that. Then, topics are not just choosing on impulse. Something must have led to it. Hence, do your own research before choosing any topic. Before you choose any topic you want to write on, do your own research. Make sure that the data you're going to use in the study is readily available. Make sure it is realistic. Make sure it is doable. Make sure it is beneficial. Make sure it is something that catches your interest. Make sure it is specific. Make sure it is clear. Make sure it is recent. Make sure you get enough literature that will enable you to do a good literature review. And if you do all this, then choosing a topic shouldn't be an issue. Then I would maybe what we're going to do after this class, maybe within the week, I'm going to guide you on how to spot recent topics. How to spot recent topics so that you know the topics that are trending and how to do your own research to know whether you're going to get available material for it. So it's on this note that this class on topic selection is going to end. Thank you, and God bless. I remain Arachie Augustine.